Hi, this is Once to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna.
Am I supposed to be introducing myself?
You can.
Oh, there was a long look. Oh, no, wait. Keep doing. Did I mess up your intro?
No, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Ella Jane. Took me a while. I forgot.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good. I've had way too many coffees today, and
You're on that.
Yeah, I'm on my jittery moment.
Yeah.
I've been trying to cut down.
And has that been going well?
Well, it was going well until I had a matcha at like 2 p.m.
Hey, but you should.
And now I'm like, hey, Ella.
Matchas. Well, but perfect. You know.
Exactly, because we're in a weird state at the moment,
and that's great.
Yes, the whole Live Nation office just watched Ella glue a nail on to her fingers.
Yeah, this morning, I always do my nails at the worst possible time. I was like,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
I have 5 minutes till my Uber gets here. I think I can glue 6 fake nails on
Absolutely.
here. Which led me to be gluing the rest on the bar.
And then you're covered in glue a little bit.
Oh, all over. And it's
just...
And I did bring the nail glue here to the office, just in case of emergencies. And clearly, it was necessary.
And you were prepared.
And I was.
Beautiful.
A Boy Scout always is.
Were you a Girl Scout?
No.
Me either. I always really wanted to be.
I think I would have enjoyed Boy Scouts more, probably.
I probably would have, because they got to do cool shit.
Yeah, they got to tie knots.
Start stuff. Did they learn how to start fires?
Probably.
My roommate has been trying to get me to go camping for years. I won't.
I can't.
I come home yesterday.
I'm just Jews don't camp. I'm not going in. I'm not going in a tent. Are you kidding? No. Personally,
I'm just afraid of being eaten by a bear.
Right. But I'm just I need plumbing.
Yeah. He got us walkie-talkies. The story is I come home yesterday and he has a full set of camping gear, 2 of everything.
Oh.
So that I must go with him.
Right.
And now I have no choice. He's rolling out a sleeping bag. I don't know.
Where are you going?
That's a great question. And the thing is, he probably won't tell me either.
So you're being kidnapped.
Basically.
Right.
That's actually kind of how we became friends, is he just kept knocking on my door until I said, okay.
And that's the start of a beautiful
and
friendship.
And then we moved across the country together.
Beautiful.
It happens sometimes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I head up to Big Bear and then never come back.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah. Anyways, this is Chef's Choice.
Perfect.
A taste-making podcast where we get to introduce people who might not know your music to your music.
Perfect.
And we always start off with an appetizer, which is the first song we'd want people to hear to get to know the world of Ella Jane.
Right.
Do you have an appetizer at the ready?
Yeah, I got an appetizer.
All right.
I would say that Time On is a good intro to my discography.
But if you wanted to break my heart, I'm strong, I can take it going down, but I'll take the fall if you break it. And I'm telling you now that I'll leave the light on if you're looking for someone to waste your time on.
Because I feel like it lies very much in the middle of my poppiest stuff and my more subdued indie stuff. Indie.
You're so afraid of that word.
Indie.
That's an accepted phrase around here. We're fine with indie.
Right.
Yeah. Time On. So sonically you feel that it's the intro to you.
It's also I think it's one of my more instrumental songs that still is fun. We were heavily referencing a lot of Sheryl Crow songs.
For sure.
And I feel like that's the energy that I like to occupy.
Yeah, I hear a lot of early 2000s in your sound. In the best way possible.
Perfect.
Yeah. A little Sarah Bareilles, which I think people
She was my earliest.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
always afraid to sort of cite that as a sonic reference.
And I never publicly.
Yeah. I'm in music too.
Right.
I went to school for songwriting and stuff, and people see girl, piano, Sarah Bareilles.
Right.
No matter what.
Right.
So I'm I was offended for a large majority of my life with that.
Right.
But
you can't beat the allegations.
You can't beat the allegations. And
it's
she's wonderful.
She's wonderful. You kind of look a little bit like her.
Yeah, I've got
you get
one
that
too.
Yeah.
I'm maybe that's actually why.
Right. Probably.
But
no, it was her Adele, Ingrid Michaelson. Those are my girls when I was like
Fuck yeah.
12.
That was like what got
Started
you into
writing a little
music?
song. Oh yeah,
Love that.
that's what cursed me with the ukulele for many years.
Oh, you were a ukulele girl.
I was.
Have you used ukulele in any song?
No.
I feel like you need to.
I'm
Just like a
okay.
little bit in the background.
Just like a little. I'll like record it and then maybe we'll just turn the volume all the way down.
No, crank the volume, throw on distortion.
Right. It just won't sound like a ukulele.
No, but you'll like your inner child will
But-
know
right.
that she's been fulfilled.
Maybe we'll do it for her. I remember being like angry at Grace Vanderwall when she like blew up on the X Factor or whatever because
That
I was like,
should've
this
been
bitch
me.
stole my thing. And good for her.
That is so like our era of like singer-songwriter sort of influences though.
Right. Yeah.
I learned a lot from them. I was also a big Fiona Apple gal.
Oh yeah. I was listening to Fiona Apple on the way here.
Which song?
I was listening to Criminal.
Of course.
I was just putting things on shuffle and I was listening to Under the Table. Great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Shadow Boxer.
Great.
It's a great one by her.
Fantastic.
Oh Well.
She's just so
Yeah.
she's wonderful. I would say those were like one of the only sort of like culturally acceptable early influences on me. The rest
What
were,
are the unacceptable
not
ones?
that like
you can't say that and
not
not
that like the aforementioned women are not, because they're fantastic and lovely. But it's one of those things where it's like I feel like you enter a lot of a lot of spaces of a lot of like music bros and you're like, I grew up listening to like Sarah Bareilles.
They assume something about you when you say that.
Right.
Which they shouldn't, because those are like the foundational songwriters of
They should
pop music.
assume that you're just like a cool girl.
Yeah. And that your brain chemistry is like unfortunately altered by Fiona
Totally.
Apple's lyrics.
Totally. Something went deeply downhill
Yeah,
after
something
that.
is dark in there.
Right.
But what are the other influences?
I mean, are we talking like embarrassing or?
Yeah. Embarrassing, but also important.
Right. I mean, I did have a big phase. I'm kind of exposing myself. I did a big middle school phase of like, I was a big Panic at the Disco girl.
Yeah.
And then, you sort of transition to the Melanie Martinez and Halsey factor.
Okay.
This was like 7th grade or something.
Yes, but there's like multiple lanes you can go down from the Panic at the Disco.
There
like,
certainly
starting
are.
point.
There certainly are. I remember like I was like lying to my friends that I liked Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veil. Like Panic at the Disco had just enough ridiculousness where I was just like, no, this is for me.
Yeah, I went down like the My Chemical Romance lane, unfortunately.
I was that was like the one exception.
Yeah.
Before the
for the
for
Melanie
me.
Martinez.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm grateful to be out of that era.
You escaped.
I escaped.
You're on the other side of
But
it.
you never forget your roots. Every time there's any bit of alcohol in me,
Absolutely.
we're blasting Panic at the Disco.
For me, it's like the Victorious soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
That's like one margarita in.
That's sober.
like, actually, that's what I was really listening
Sober.
to on
No,
the way
right,
here.
yeah, I was,
She's fine.
sorry about
Don't
that.
even worry about it. Okay, so Time On is our intro song.
Right.
That one exists on your recent album that you just released, yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The deluxe album was
The
also
deluxe.
this year.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to know what the meat of that era is.
So the meat?
Yes, the entree. How do you pronounce it? Because I like was gonna try to do it myself.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was like entree. You said it right.
Entree.
Um,
No, the name of your album.
Marginalia.
Marginalia.
It was one of those things where before I decided to title it, I too had to look up how to say it.
What does it mean?
It means it's like the sort of official word for like annotations or writing in the margins. It was like it was like some like English class thing that I.
You do have a bit of a literary theme
Yeah.
throughout your artist career. I was like, do I ask you about your Great Gatsby song?
The funniest thing about it was like it's created an accidental reputation for myself where like I think I would like to be more sort of bookish than I am, but the reality is it's mostly just like watching Love is Blind. So it's like did you watch the new season?
I have not made it through yet.
I finished it this morning.
Do I have to watch it? Is it
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's one of those things I have to stomach. Like I really have to power through that.
Yeah.
Because they are simply making the worst decisions
There's
possible.
just I think it's like Love is Blind ultimately would be a great like just dating experience, and what makes it so
Right.
psychotic is the okay, now like you have to, like the goal is marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't actually get to choose what you do like after the first 2 weeks. You now have to live the rest of your lives
Right.
together. Yeah.
Right. But with, The Great Gatsby, it happened to be like the obvious Great Gatsby to Love Is Blind Pipeline.
Yeah, of course.
It was like one of those things where it was the only book that I like actually read the whole way through that year. But I just like feel ill-equipped to answer most literary questions in the way that I would like to.
Yeah. For context, for listeners.
Oh yes.
You had a song blow up on TikTok, really, because you wrote it inspired by The Great Gatsby.
I did. It was like a school project.
A school project in high school?
Yeah, senior year.
Damn. Wow. That's a longer time ago than I thought it was.
Yeah, it was the second song I ever released.
Okay. Yeah. And now you have a bit of a reputation for an English gal.
Yeah, apparently so. Which, I mean, I also, like, am a nerd. Like, I don't...
Yeah, that's the hard thing about being an adult who, like, was a book reader as a kid.
Right.
I'm like, I feel like I should say I'm a reader, but...
Right, but it's no.
I haven't.
It's like, then you, like, you know, encounter people who actually are reading, like, 50 books a year, and you're like...
I'm like,
you're like, slow down.
Like, I listened to a bit of, like, a smutty audiobook, like,
right,
a couple months ago.
Right, of course. No, that counts. That's
Thank
academia.
You for validating that. Yeah.
Jesus, I can't leave the sign alone.
She's fine. You're like, I just want to bask in your light, actually.
Beautiful.
So off of Marginalia,
yes.
Now that I've got it down, what song would sort of represent that release? Because that's been your, like, heftiest release.
Yeah.
Thus far, really.
Yeah. Probably I Wanna.
Couldn't burn forever. These embers were glowing just for now. And when the cold set in, and I started thinking, I wanna be in love, I wanna be in love, I wanna be in love, I wanna be in, I wanna be in love, I wanna be in love, I wanna be in.
There are not many times where I write a song that I like fully love. I think it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you get this as a songwriter, but there are like songs that like you just end up picking apart so much that by the time it like comes to the finished product, it's hard to see it as a song.
Yeah.
And it's more just like, this is like a collection of sounds I've gotten to like know really well. But
Yeah.
I
stop
feel like,
hearing your own voice, kind of.
yeah, totally. And I like stopped being able to look at my music objectively until it's been like a couple of years. But I Want is one of those things that like really feels like a song that I would listen to and a song I would love. And for someone who's like very hard on myself, and I hold myself to definitely an impossibly high standard, it's like nice when I can actually meet that standard once in a while. So
Yeah.
I just feel like it has, I don't know, I feel like it's a pop song that stands alone as a fun danceable pop song, and then also as a song that like lyrically and conceptually I feel really proud of.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like super upbeat, but then the lyrics are like yearning,
Right.
and desperate, which is kind of like
My
the
trademark.
vibe. Yeah. I'm just a girl who yearns.
No, of course.
That is sort of the theme throughout the album, though, that I picked up on. It's like being in love, falling out of love, unrequited love, and that's sort of like the things, the tendrils off of that main
Right.
theme.
Yeah.
So that's a cool song to choose to represent it. Do you feel that the being hard on yourself has gotten worse since your career has sort of blossomed? Is it something you're growing more comfortable with?
I think it's both. I think that like
Love that.
yeah. I mean, I think I was talking to someone about this morning, but like, I think something that has changed about my songwriting, not necessarily for the better or worse, but just something that I've definitely had to take note of, is that since, you know, releasing music and like getting acquainted with how like the public reacts to my like most internal thoughts,
Yeah.
I think it's hard for me to write without an audience in mind. Not to say I let it change my songwriting,
Right.
which is why I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But I do think that sometimes because of it, like my music lacks the simplicity that it once had when I started writing.
Right.
I think it's gotten better, but I think I get very obsessed with like the ins and outs of songwriting, like as a craft, that I think sometimes it's just is a lot harder for me to meet my standards, because my standards have become like this imaginary, like horrible critic that is the public eye.
Yeah, like at one point in your life, your standards were like, I'm feeling this feeling and I just want to sing about this feeling. And now it's, how is my label going to hear it? How is that's heavy, but also like a very maturing sort of pressure. Yeah. I can definitely hear that in the songwriting too. Not the insecurity, but like the songwriting intelligence.
Thank you.
Might be the word that I would use. There's a cool remix of I Wanna on the deluxe album too, right? Yeah. How did that come about?
It was just like, oh my God, I forgot my phone, so let me turn it off.
You're fine.
Oh, I made it. No one can see that, but I just threw my phone perfectly into my bag.
The bag that's 2 feet away from you.
No, it was across the room. Wait, what was the question? I got so distracted by you're
like, my talents just got in the way. No, the I Wanna remix.
Oh, right.
What was the other artist on there?
Simon Spine.
Yes.
It was just, they were just a group that my manager like connected me with and just sent me some of their stuff. And I was just like, my own knowledge of like music like that sort of veers more on the like EDM side. I feel like my knowledge is so limited.
Yeah.
But what I liked about, and so we had a couple people just on spec like try out possible remixes. And I knew I wouldn't put anything out that I like didn't like, but I liked about this particular remix was just some of the more like organic elements of it. Yeah, it felt very like, for lack of a better term, like very sort of like indie sleaze, like fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I could so see it in like a Brooklyn club.
Right.
Isn't that the goal?
Always. No, right. Never. Always. Never.
No, I loved it though. Yeah. It was a very good little bonus track.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh my! Wow.
No, it was bound to happen eventually.
I gotta keep my hands to myself.
Keep those elbows in. No, you're fine. I've done it before, and it'll happen again. Yeah. So, we've gone through appetizer. We've gone through appetizer, entree.
Right.
What would be a dessert track? Doesn't have to be off of Marginalia, and it could be like you're about to go on tour in the UK. Is this your first time touring out of the United States?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very excited. I've never even like traveled to the UK.
Oh, that's crazy.
Ever, so I'm really excited.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I just hiccuped right into the microphone.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
It was a little one.
But I'm glad I know now.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to share it.
Share that with the class.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious what kind of songs you'll be playing in your set on tour, and if there's any maybe like fun covers or songs you're looking forward to.
Yeah. I've been, my only like performance experience this summer, like for the past few months, has just been like festivals. So I've had to do a really like abridged set. So I'm just excited to be able to play like a full length hour, 10 minute, like hour-ish set, and play some of my songs that like, I don't know, I think when you spend a lot of time playing songs that like, that are your less popular ones, you kind of get into a headspace of assuming that like nobody knows them. And I think it's going to be cool to experience maybe my like lesser known songs being sung or reacted to or recognized by people who actually listen to them, and especially like people in an entirely different country. Yeah. I think that will be special. But as for covers, I typically, as of my last tour, I've been doing an Ain't It Fun cover. Oh, great. Which is quite fun.
Incredible.
It always goes over even better than my own music, so maybe I need to knock the cover choice down a peg. But I am turning 22 the date of my London show, so I will be making my band play 22 by Taylor Swift with me, because it's actually the rules. That's when it's your 22nd.
Dude, you're gonna turn 22 in London and get to.
I'm very excited.
Literally a headline fucking show.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
That's dope.
I'm very excited, and it's sold out, which is fun. So I'm a Scorpio.
Oh. Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I couldn't tell. So
thank you. But I literally like don't know what any of the signs mean. Really, I just know like the reaction that people
Scorpio
have to
has
it.
A bad rep.
People will be like, oh.
I'm a Leo, so I also get like, oh, so you like attention.
Right.
I'm like, no, I just host a podcast.
Right. Yeah, I just host a podcast. No, I'm a Leo moon.
Okay.
And a Pisces rising.
And
everyone goes, everyone goes, oh, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, sure.
No, Scorpio gets a bad rep for being like a little antagonistic, I believe.
Right.
Or like maybe stubborn.
The word I hear used most is bitch.
Yeah, I was avoiding that one.
Right.
But,
but-
most of the people in my life are Scorpios.
Right.
So I love them.
Good. Thank God.
Thank God. That's incredible, though. A sold out headline show.
I'm excited. I mean, granted, it's a very tiny venue, but I mean, just the fact that like anybody in another country knows who I am is mind-boggling. I'm just afraid that I'm going to whip out a really terrible British accent in front of all
you
of
will.
them. And I will.
You will.
No, I will.
I'll keep it reeled in, and the second I'm around a British person, that's when she decides to pop out.
No, always.
Because I watch a little too much Great British Baking Show.
Oh, I've not. Isn't there a new season out?
There's a new season out.
I've not watched it yet.
You must.
I will.
It's actually so good for my brain.
I love it.
It's like...
I feel like after Love is Blind, I need that sort of...
Yeah, after all the chaos of that. I go back and forth between that and The Golden Bachelor right now.
I haven't seen that either.
Dude. Like, 65 plus MILFs looking for love.
Oh, it's nice.
It's nice. It's nice. I mean, most of them have like... They're like widows.
No.
So it's kind of, it's like sad.
It's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I know what I'm doing later today.
It's a good, like, you don't think anything while you're watching it.
Right.
Like, mind empty.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what I love.
That's where I aspire to be.
Right.
So Ain't It Fun is the cover you play on tour. Yeah. Do you have maybe a bonus track of your music? That's our second dessert.
Oh, second dessert.
Yeah, maybe something, you were talking about, like, lesser known songs.
Right.
Like one that you wish people would maybe like give another play.
I'm gonna give two options just because they're both quite different. But I feel like two songs of mine that I think are like the ones that people tend to know less, but I think that sometimes I'm surprised that they are a lot less popular than like my more popular ones. Mm-hmm. I feel like August is a Fever.
Love that song.
Yeah. Well, I just heard myself go.
And I'm aware that you found a place to hide, but I don't know. No, I don't know how to make it out alive. And oh, August is a fever. 'Cause we're too hot and cold and homesick all the time.
I guess sort of the simplicity that I was talking about that I kind of lost track of just over the past like year or two. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of that can be found there because it's like, I mean, it's the first track that I've ever put out that like really felt 100% me. It was the first time I it wasn't the first time I contributed to the production, but it was the first time I sort of realized it.
Okay.
Or I was,
like you could hear yourself in it, kind of?
It was more like, the first two songs I put out, I definitely played a big hand in the production, but because I didn't know anything about like the music industry and because I didn't know anything really like technically about production, I was just making like demos on my like phone and my computer, and I think because I was just connected to producers who were usually just like whatever 30-year-old guys who that was their title. Yeah. I was like, well, I'm like 18. Like, what do I know? I'm just a girl. And I think August is a Fever was the first track where I was like, I literally had like a friend of mine say on the phone to me at a certain point, I was like, I don't know who I'm going to get to produce it. And he was like, wait, I don't understand. Like, you're showing me a mostly finished song. Like, right. You produced it. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right.
That's so gratifying though, to come to terms with. Like, oh, actually what I've done is worth other people hearing.
Right.
Because you still kind of hear it like in those skeletal stages, I think.
Yeah, totally. And I think... Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, I want you to go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I think like because production is such a male-dominated profession, and because it's just kind of tinkering with computers and is like more like technological, I think it is intimidating to a lot of women to try and like, or just non-men to try and break through that barrier because it's a little bit less like creative. I mean, it is truly creative. That's the type of production I like, but I think on like a surface level, it is a little bit more it is a little bit more like sort of logical on a very surface level. And I think as a young woman entering music, that was very hard for me to wrap my head around, that I would be accepted by that community.
Right. The barrier for entry is like very difficult.
Like
because of that.
ironclad. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. If I was in a studio and I didn't understand something and I asked about it, men very frequently would just be like, I've got it. Like, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm asking because I want to be able to help next time. Or like
for like my own song.
Yeah, or
I'm
do it at home
to help. Yeah, totally.
Literally. Like it's supposed to be a collaboration.
Right. Yeah.
But many people just see it as like, no, small girl.
Right.
I'll take care of it. I'll make it sound good.
Totally.
But
Especially when I was like first starting music and like had just graduated high school. It was a lot of the times like just my attitude of being even just like inquisitive like that and trying to learn more was met with a lot of like exactly that. Like, don't worry. Like it was just, I was very much seen as, whether or not the intentions were pure or not, like it was just subconsciously, I think a lot of the times I was seen as just like, oh, you're just this artist, like you're the singer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're the singer. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Like it'll go faster if I don't show you.
Right.
Which, maybe the intentions were not made to be impure, but it doesn't help make a space for women and non-men.
Yeah, totally. So, but long story short, I think August is a Fever is the first song where I was really able to like internalize that. Oh, I made eye contact with someone outside. It was the first time smiling.
Hello. He just threw up a peace sign
and I threw one right back at him.
I love this.
No, that was special. That was a special.
You're a really nice dog.
Yeah, I did really like the dog.
Yeah.
Listen to August is Fever. I'm done.
Listen to that song. Did you have a hand in the production of the album too?
Yeah, certainly. I found I cannot stop looking at people walking by. Oh, hi. I'm really waiting for this woman to circle back around the block who, when I was waiting outside, someone was like walking by with a cat like lying down in a clear suitcase. Just like taking the cat for a walk.
That sounded menacing.
I was just, and she was walking by and I was like clearly like just looking at the cat. And she did that thing where she like, turned around to see if I was like smiling at anyone else.
How could you not look?
Like, no, I'm looking at I'm looking at you wheeling your cat.
I want to see. Okay.
Oh, and my other song is Party Trick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And that was the whole build up to that.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah. One of my favorites off the album was Warhol.
So if you want, I'll rearrange, switching all the colors out. 'Cause I've been waiting forever to be noticed. Up on a white wall I keep twisting the image till I'm not myself at all.
Oh, thank you.
I really liked that. I wasn't expecting. I was like, how are we going to get to Andy Warhol in this narrative?
Right.
And it was great.
Right.
It was good. Right. I like when a title like makes me be like, oh, let me come up with the story first.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't what I thought, which is even better.
What did you think it was going to be?
I don't know. I thought it was going to be like, you were going to be like comparing love to like an Andy Warhol painting.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I liked this. I liked it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I kind
guess
of
I
like forget it exists.
Okay.
You
should listen to it.
It's, I heard it's bad. I don't know. It's one of those things where I just like, I think, I don't know. I don't play it live very often if I'm like traveling without a keyboard or like if it, so, and it's just as like one of the like lesser streamed ones. So sometimes we'll like cut it from the set, but every time I do play it, like it always ends up being a favorite to sing and perform. And it's like, it's cool when you're ones that are a lot less like popular or a lot less like palatable to a wider audience when those are being sort of widely accepted.
Yeah.
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last final question.
Okay.
It's the most pressing of questions. I want to know who your ones to watch are. Who should we've been watching you. But I want to know who you've been watching and who we should watch. You literally been watching me. You literally stalked my podcast to know what sweater to wear.
No, earlier I was like, as soon as I like Abby invited me to do the podcast, and as soon as I saw that it was filmed, I was like, okay, like what's the temperature in the office looking like? And that's why I brought the sweater, because Abby's
What's
always
the
in
climate
a sweater. I wanted to know.
I respect that.
Thank you. My ones to watch. Sorry, man on a bicycle.
On the sidewalk, nonetheless.
It was just there was something about him that was very like Harry Potter, and it took me.
I feel that.
My ones to watch, besides that man on the bike, are my friends Boyish are so fucking good.
I've been watching.
I'm obsessed with them. They're
That's
like
great.
good friends of mine, and I think like some of my earliest like music friends, and they've just like sort of functioned as older siblings, and I've just really admired them. I think their music's fucking sick. They're both just like awesome people and producers and writers and musicians. So I love them. I've been obsessed with Madison Cunningham. Do you listen to her ever?
I don't listen to her frequently, but I've heard a couple tracks.
She's just so phenomenal. There is like something, she's like a mix of like Joni and like Fiona Apple and the Beatles. She's just like, just one of the best writers that I've sort of heard recently. Her album, Revealer, is really, really phenom.
I'll listen. I need to brush up. Yeah.
It's really phenom. Anyone else that I've been listening to?
2 is good.
Probably. 2 is great.
Yeah.
2 is good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you again for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Good luck on tour. When do you leave?
Thank you. I leave Halloween.
Oh, shit. So you can't go trick-or-treating.
I can't go trick-or-treating. But maybe there'll be a party before because I've decided that this year I want to be person getting haircut.
How does that even work?
I was on the plane going through my notes section.
Yeah.
And I found this idea from like 2016. It just says Halloween costume idea, person getting haircut.
Are you just going to wear one of those like little capes?
I think I'm going to wear a cape.
Okay.
Put some tin foil in my hair.
Love that.
Maybe have a friend walk around with some scissors.
Friend dresses as the scissors.
Right. Oh.
I don't know.
Do you want to be the scissors?
I am dressing up as Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, but if I come across a large amount of tinfoil, I'll let you know.
Totally let me know.
And I'll sculpt some scissors.
And then that's friendship.
That's real friendship right there. Word. Okay. Well, thank you for coming in and talking with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Once again, this is One Swat Chef's Choice. I'm Abby. You don't get my longing looks, do you?
I'm Ella Jane.
You're like,
because the first
looking
time
at the people outside.
The first time I was like, am I supposed to be saying my name? And it never caught on.
No, this is okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's that.